Hello, friends. What would you bet if your life was on the line? Your coins, your house, or your freedom? In ancient Rome, chance wasn't just a pastime, it was an obsession. From the grand villas of senators to the smoky taverns of commoners, Rome was a city that lived and breathed the thrill of the gamble. Romans gambled on everything: dice, board games, chariot races, gladiator fights, even the outcome of political events. If there was something to win or lose, you could count on a Roman to put money on it. And though gambling was technically illegal for most of the year, the law was about as strong as a broken amphora. Rome's people didn't stop. They just gambled smarter, and often in secret. The most popular game? Dice. The Romans used small cubes called tesserae, or alea, the same word that gives us Caesar's famous line, alea iacta est, or the die is cast. And when Caesar said that before crossing the Rubicon, he wasn't just making a metaphor. He was speaking the language of gamblers, taking a risk that could never be undone. Dice games were everywhere. Men huddled in taverns, throwing them on wooden tables. Soldiers passed them between battles. Even emperors joined in. Augustus, the mighty ruler of the Roman world, openly admitted his love of dice. Claudius even had a special board built into his chariot so he could play while traveling. Of course, where there's gambling, there's cheating. Weighted dice, sleight of hand, fake bets, it all existed in Rome. Some players carried their own dice carved from bone or ivory, each side carefully adjusted. Others relied on luck, prayers, or charms to tilt fortune in their favor. But the goddess of luck, Fortuna, was fickle. She gave, she took, and she never stayed loyal for long. And dice weren't the only game in town. There was tabula, an early form of backgammon, where strategy met chance, and ludus duodecim scriptorum, the game of 12 lines, popular among Roman intellectuals. But whether you were rolling dice or sliding pieces, the stakes were often high: money, jewels, or even property. Some gamblers lost fortunes in a single night, reduced from nobles to beggars by dawn. During the festival of Saturnalia, the rules flipped, literally. Gambling became not only allowed, but encouraged. Masters and slaves played together, laughing, shouting, swapping roles. The city turned into one giant casino. It was a time when the gods of order looked away, and Fortuna ruled supreme. But the addiction had its dark side. Roman writers complained endlessly about the gamblers who wasted their wealth. Cato the Elder called them disgraceful. Laws were passed to ban wagering beyond small coins. Yet the more the Senate scolded, the more Rome rolled the dice. For in a world ruled by fate, gambling felt like a way to speak to the gods, to test whether fortune smiled on you. The Romans even buried dice with the dead, maybe to give them something to play in the afterlife, or maybe because chance was life itself. Unpredictable, cruel, and thrilling. And perhaps that's the secret. For all their power, Rome's people still loved the illusion of control. A soldier could fight bravely and still die by chance. A merchant could prosper or go broke overnight. A gambler with a flick of the wrist could feel like a god or fall like a fool. In the end, gambling in Rome wasn't about the coins. It was about hope. The hope that maybe, just maybe, fortune would choose you this time. So as the dice tumble and the crowd leans in, remember, even the mightiest empire on earth couldn't resist the call of chance. Because luck, in Rome as in life, was the one thing no emperor could conquer.